This week in Nerf, there's new products everywhere. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. I'm Jangular, and this is your source for first-party, third-party, and community Nerf news. Now, there's a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to go as in-depth or give my opinions as much in this episode, so we can keep it going and keep it a watchable length for all of you. So first up, we have a new company named Foam Blast from Michelle and Cheese Whiz. Now, you may remember Michelle motors from a while back. They were really popular, but there weren't a ton of them, so they went out of stock relatively quickly. Now we have the Michelle 2.0 motors as their first product on their website, along with a few other things to accompany them. But the Michelle motors are the big product, and they're a 2S motor and a 130 form factor, and they go for $3 per motor, which is a really good price. I'm looking forward to getting some of my own. I know a lot of people really liked the old Michelle motors, and these are motors that she had made to her specific specifications. And I know she's working on something else for new motors that are, I believe, codenamed Meteor for the time being. So I'm looking forward to seeing those as well and how those perform. So keep an eye out for that. Link to their new website will, of course, be in the info below. Now, moving right along, because we have a lot to talk about, as I said, second up is Containment Crew announced their new Cyclone flywheels. These are high crush flywheels meant to go specifically in the BSP cages. Now, these are also meant to go with MTB Hellcat motors. That's kind of their optimal performance, is to go with those other components. They can work with stock flywheel cages if I read correctly, but ideally you'll put them in a BSP cage with Hellcat motors for that optimal high crush, high performance setup. Now, because they are high crush, they aren't going to work particularly well with FVJ. So just keep that in mind if that's your primary dart choice. These are also coming in at $18 per pair, which is not terribly high. It's about the same as, I believe, the Hooligan motors post-shipping, though I think you'll pay a little bit more in shipping after the fact for the Cyclone flywheels. But they're a competitive price. They're fairly evenly priced, which is good for the market. So unfortunately, I don't have my hands on those yet. I have a lot of other things I need to get to, but hopefully at some point in the future, I will get some and I'll put them in a build and I'll have some fun with them. But yeah, I just want you all to know they are out. Take a look if you have a BSP cage or thinking about getting one and want something to accompany them quite well. Next up is a worker mod kit with an aluminum flywheel cage and metal flywheels. Now, the fact that we get more and more flywheel cages is awesome. And the fact that it's metal is awesome. What's questionable is the metal flywheels, because that's adding more weight, which adds more time to your spin up, which means not a snappy performance. And they're the standard worker design with the ridges and the teeth that just destroy darts in the plastic form. So I can only imagine what they'll do to darts in the metal form. But this kit comes with motors, wire, switches, and the flywheel cage and the flywheels, which is cool. I like that it's a complete bundle kit. It'll be nice if they offered different flywheel options. They do have different colors of flywheels, which people are speculating maybe one is high crush, one isn't. We don't know yet. We haven't been able to test them. We don't know exactly what motors they are. I've heard some speculation, but until we get hard data, I don't want to go too far into the speculation. This did come to us from the Reddit user Unipugosaurus, who found the Taobao listing and posted it up on Reddit. So props to him for finding that and sharing it with all of us. Hopefully someone will get this in soon and do some testing and let us all know the facts about this setup. Moving right along, we have Blaster Tech announcing a new product for you brass breech or brass barrel loving enthusiasts. And this is a Scar barrel attachment. It kind of takes the idea that's in the JSPB Scar barrel with the string rotating that kind of forces the dart to spin and create stability. Whether or not you buy into that is up to you. I personally have filmed the JSPB with the Scar barrel shooting and spinning darts, so it does spin darts. Whether or not you believe it improves accuracy, that's up to you. But this is meant to emulate that, is what it looks like to me. And it is adjustable as well, so you can kind of choose how much rotation you want in your strings, how you want the strings set up. I think that's really cool. Important to note, this only fits on K&S brand 17/32 or 9/16 brass tube. So it's not just gonna fit on any old brass tube, it has to be one of those. It's specifically made for that. So keep that in mind if you're purchasing one or want to purchase one, that it may not work quite properly with the brass barrel you have if you don't have the right kind. Also, one last thing, these are $15 per barrel. So that's all your information on that. And before we get to our mod of the week, we have one more thing, and that is Ryan of Make Test Battle has released several of his 3D printed files on Thingiverse. These include, namely to me, the big cool one is the single dart Sledgefire shell that he uses in his HPA Sledgefire that you can see in some of their Nerf combat videos that are really cool to watch. And then the other big one to me is the Flared Recon Mark II Magwell. I like flared magwells, despite not having gotten my hands on any yet. I love the idea. I think they're awesome. Great utility. Makes things much easier to reload. So those are really cool. He's also got some Picatinny rails and other stuff for the Recon Mark II. Check all those out if you've got access to a 3D printer. I think it's really, really cool that he's releasing these things to the public for everyone to just go have fun with. Hey, these worked for me. Maybe they'll work for you. Go use them if you've got access. That's great. I think it's fantastic for the community that he's doing that. Now, mod of the week. I think it's very important we remember that Nerf is a hobby for fun. And Beret reminds us of that with his Sax BZ. This is an XBZ put into a toy saxophone. I assume it's a toy saxophone. I didn't get clarification, but it looks like, it doesn't look like a high-end pricey saxophone. I certainly hope he wouldn't spend money on that, but a toy saxophone is what it looks like with an XBZ in it, and out of the music hole, I was just gonna say the music hole, out of the horn portion of the saxophone is out where the barrel shoots. So he has XBZ missiles sitting in the horn portion of the saxophone, and that's where they shoot out of. The top of it is where the pump is. It's just this fantastically goofy blaster that reminds us that Nerf is about fun. Don't be afraid to do something goofy and have fun with the hobby. It's fantastic. I love this thing. He's modified it since to be able to shoot 2 rockets at once. Not as far, obviously, but it can. I think that's great. Now, I also want to follow this up with the video of the week, which also comes from Beret, because I kind of like when things tie together. I kind of liked how we did last week. Not going to be every time, but when it works, it works. So he started something called the Sax Quest. Now, if you've watched this channel for a while, a year or two back, you may remember Missile Quest. That was when a regular here shot demolisher rockets at all of the regulars and tried to tag them out. He's taking that and doing it his own way, making himself try to tag all of the regulars at his local game with the Sax BZ throughout the season, and hopefully he can accomplish that. But he's recording all of it and doing update videos every month of how his progress went. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the idea of doing this, of continuing this trend of doing something goofy and fun, trying to complete a goofy quest throughout the entire season. Gives you more reason to go and try and do something fun and get people excited, because really, the kind of intensity we had towards the end of the season when Paul was doing his missile quest is what I expect will happen with Beret for his. And that's where people really don't want to get tagged by it. They really want to be that one person that isn't tagged. And when it finally happens, it's just, you're just like, oh. It's really fun, and it really adds another layer to games. So I love that he's doing this, and I cannot help but encourage others to try things like this as well, because it really adds something extra to the games and the community that you're playing in. So it gets people coming out, you know, they want to try and dodge these things. They want to try and be a part of them. I think it's great for the community, great for entertaining videos to watch. So go check it out. The video, of course, is going to be linked in the info and right here, because we're at the end of the video. So let me know what you thought of all the things that are coming out. There's a ton of new stuff. Let me know if you've bought any of it and you're already trying it out, or you've got it on order, you're looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments. I look forward to always hearing from all of you, and I hope to see you all again next time. I think that does it. I don't know why I just spaced out, but as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jangular, and I'll see you next time.